Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And while I have great admiration for my friend, the chairman, I could not disagree more with his observations about Afghanistan and the president's decision. The fact is, our coalition partners and our military leadership felt that we should have maintained our 2,500 troops there, along with this roughly 7,500 to 8,000 coalition troops, and the thousands of contractors that the Afghan army was dependent upon to fight successfully. And I think they could have continued, as they have in past years, to fight valiantly had we given that support and the president had listened to his general's advice. But regardless of how you feel about the decision to remove troops from Afghanistan, I think we can all agree that the withdrawal was an unmitigated disaster. Hundreds of Americans were left behind, thousands of Afghan allies stuck with little hope of escape, potentially billions worth of U.S.-provided military equipment now in the hands of the Taliban, thousands of hardened al-Qaeda and ISIS terrorists freed from prisons, 10 innocent Afghans, including 7 children, killed in a botched airstrike, but worst of all, 13 brave Americans, service members, were murdered by a coward in a suicide vest. What's more infuriating is that all this could have been avoided if the president had a plan. In briefings and hearings since April, we've demanded to know a plan to A, safely evacuate Americans and Afghan allies, and B, conduct counterterrorism operations. For 4 months, the response from the Biden administration was, we're working on it. Now it's clear they never had a plan. The president repeatedly assured the American people that the Taliban takeover was not inevitable, that we had plenty of time to safely evacuate Americans and Afghan allies, that this was not going to be a fall like Saigon. As late as August 19th, the president promised us that if there's an American citizen left, we're going to stay to get them all out. Now it's clear the president has misled us more than once. On August 31st, hundreds of Americans left behind, the 13 service members murdered. The president stood in the East Room of the White House and called the withdrawal, quote, an extraordinary success, close quote. I fear the president is delusional. This wasn't an extraordinary success. It was an extraordinary disaster. It will go down in history as one of the greatest failures of American leadership. We're here today to get answers on how the hell this happened. I expect our witnesses to give us an honest accounting of exactly what went wrong. I also want answers on how we're going to conduct counterterrorism operations now that we have zero presence in Afghanistan. This was the first question we asked you in April, and we still don't have an answer. According to the latest intelligence assessment, it could be as little as 12 months before al-Qaeda will use Afghanistan as a base to conduct airstrikes or strikes against the United States, and that's unacceptable. And this talk of over-the-horizon capability is a farce. Sure, we can send a drone out to take out a terrorist, but we didn't know where the terrorists are. Without persistent ISR capabilities or reliable intelligence on the ground, that's impossible. We have neither of those now. It doesn't help that we need to fly that drone nearly 1,600 miles to reach Afghanistan, leaving little time on station, or that we have to fly over Pakistan, an ally of the Taliban, who could revoke overflight privileges at any time. None of this is giving us much confidence that this administration can successfully conduct counterterrorism in Afghanistan. We want to know what capabilities we need, where they will be based, and how they'll be used. In other words, we want to see a plan, and we want to see it today. Because frankly, after this debacle of a withdrawal, I don't think anyone can trust anything this president says about Afghanistan. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Mr. Secretary, you are recognized.
Chairman Smith,